Take 3. Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Mary.
Welcome to our next video. This video takes us our travels through Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina. Hope you enjoy the video.
And sorry to say Bob and Ted are sleeping, so they will not be joining us on this video.
Yeah, it's a little after 7. It's past their bedtime. That's why it's quiet here too. Thank you. See you at the end. Our first stop was in northern Maryland at a Harvest Host. Now at a Harvest Host, there are no hookups. You just go there and park for free that night. While we were there, we did go inside and we had a dinner at nighttime when we arrived. And in the morning we had breakfast. Both were very, very good.
It was just in an open parking lot with no hookups at all. But they had the very, very best ice cream. I got butter pecan, my favorite.
Our second stop was in Virginia, the center of Virginia, at a state park called Holiday Lake State Park. We were in the Laurel Ridge Campground. The site was very nice, spacious, level, all that. The only problem was there was no Wi-Fi, cell service was horrible, water pressure was horrible. In fact, we changed the filter, the pressure gauge, and also changed the check valve, only to learn when we were leaving from the camp host that they have horrible water pressure, and over the weekends they have 0 water pressure. Thanks.
This was an odd place that we found a cemetery right along the lake. We tried to find out the name of the cemetery. We couldn't read the name of any of the graves, but it was interesting just to see it right there along the lake. As you can see from the map, there were many buildings and all that you can actually go in and tour. We went through a couple, so you'll see a couple that we randomly took pictures of and some of the insides of the buildings.
A very interesting talk that we listened to was from Abe Reynolds, who depicted a slave at the plantation at the time of the signing. Very touching, very moving. Right down the road from Appomattox was the American Civil War Museum. It contained many artifacts and information about the war. A history buff could spend hours there exploring.
It was lunchtime, so we found a taco place called Taco Wagon. We got tacos. I had Corona beer, and I finally realized that Corona is my favorite beer of choice.
Our second stop in Virginia was the Bedford Visitor Center, an interesting place. They had 3 sites for RVs, all with full hookups. Very convenient for the trip.
It's apple festival time in Virginia, so we found an apple festival. Plenty of apples there. We ended up buying some apple cider. We bought apple pie, and Greg wanted to get frog jam, F-R-O-G. So you need to look it up to see what frog jam actually contains.
Mary and I were wondering, why was the D-Day Memorial put in Bedford, Virginia? And we learned that on the trip. Among the hundreds of thousands massed off the shores of Normandy on the morning of June 6, 1944, were 44 sailors, soldiers, and airmen from the town and county of Bedford, Virginia. 37 of these young men belonged to Company A of the 116th Infantry Regiment, 29th Division. For almost all of them, this would be their baptism of fire. Of the 37 assigned to Company A, 31 loaded into landing craft and headed for Omaha Beach in the first wave. En route, a landing craft struck an obstacle and sank, stranding dozens far from shore, including 5 of Bedford's own. The remaining 26 successfully reached Omaha Beach, where 16 were killed and 4 wounded within a matter of minutes. Bedford's D-Day fatalities totaled 20. In comparison with its wartime population, Bedford suffered the nation's highest known per capita D-Day loss. This sculpture represents the fierce struggle Allied soldiers waged up and down the landing beaches. A stylized bunker serves as a backdrop for the scene. A granite Higgins boat represents the thousands of various landing craft that transported troops from ships to shore on the morning of D-Day. For its versatility, the Higgins boat was later credited by Eisenhower for winning the war for the Allies. The beach sculptures through the surf, death on shore, across the beach, and scaling the wall captured troops at various poses of the battle, honoring the valor, fidelity, and sacrifices that were made during Operation Lee.
Tanglewood Park Campground in North Carolina was one of our favorites so far. If the opportunity arises, we will definitely stop back to spend more time. We were only here for 2 nights. We actually had good cable reception at Tanglewood. I was able to watch the Steeler game. And of course, we had to stop at Cracker Barrel to get my favorite meatloaf dinner.
Our last stop in North Carolina was McDowell Nature Preserve, a small campground, very nice. We had spent three nights there, very close to Lake Wiley, which we were able to walk to every day. While the one trip down to Lake Wiley, we met a couple, a mother and son. She was from Trinidad, and she was up here to get out of the heat from Trinidad, and she was with her son, who was from South Carolina. They recommended Papa Duke's for eating, and in the campground we met another couple, and they ate there the night before, and they recommended Papa Duke's also. We went there for lunch our final day and had a very good meal.
It's Papa Doc's, not Papa Duke's.
Thanks.